He's America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. It is time for this, I don't know, marginally informative and entertaining show. I am America's #1 radio has-been. Thank you for joining me here. You can call or text at 704-570-1079. Thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. Liberty Buick GMC. Today is my son's birthday, and everybody is downstairs celebrating. I had to. I cooked his favorite meal for him, but I had to leave it, which is jambalaya, chicken and sausage jambalaya, and I had to leave it as it was finishing up cooking, and trusting that somebody down there can handle that, put the finishing touches on it. So I didn't get to taste it when it was done to see if it needed, a little more salt or cayenne or whatever. So now I'm up here worried about it because I'm really particular about my cooking. And if everything I cook is not just absolutely perfect, it just drives me crazy. But, if I wasn't a has-been radio person, if I was still at the top of my game, being, one of the most well-respected and successful morning radio hosts of all time, I wouldn't be up here while my son is celebrating his birthday downstairs with the family and the friends. I would be retired. I wouldn't still be slaving over a hot microphone. I'd be retired at the tender age of 56. But what you gonna do? I've got a job to do up here tonight, and he's just gonna have to realize his daddy ain't there. I'm like a daddy that's done gone off to war. I just can't be there. I got important things that need to be taken care of. I mean, he's only 23. I don't know if he'll understand. But, this working at night sucks. When you're old like I am, you ready to go to bed? Look, even if I didn't have to get up and do a morning show in the morning, I'd already be in the bed at 7 o'clock. I mean, that's just the way it is. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad to be here. And we are going to have tons of fun tonight. That's what we're going to have, tons of fun. Okay, getting started with Graham Platner, who is so much fun. What a prince of a man this is. Graham Platner, the Democrat nominee for Senate in Maine, that we've been talking about every night, because, I don't think there has been a more blatant slime ball in public life. All of the Democrat politicians, from senators all the way down to mayors and city council members and all that, they're all rotten. But this one, even for Democrats, is just a complete and total disaster. Oh, my God. All right, so I hate having to go through the list every time about what this dude's about. So I'm going to assume that by now, because we're all the people who keep up with what's going on in the country. We keep up with the issues. So the main things are Nazi tattoo, that he said he didn't know it was a Nazi tattoo. He had it for 18 years, didn't know it was a Nazi tattoo, and then got it covered up when he decided to run for office. A fake oyster farmer, raised with a lot of money, but acts like he wasn't, just like all communists. He was in the military, and he throws off on other military people and says that they should have been killed when they were just injured. Things like that. Pervert, liar, just a terrible person. Well, the news broke today that there is another ex from his life that is telling off on him. This is from the New York Post. Maine Senate hopeful Graham Platner is a woman hater who once twisted an ex-girlfriend's arm and fantasized about killing people and raping intruders, according to a slew of women who've come forward to out his disturbing behavior. So the Democrat candidate who's been endorsed by progressives, i.e. communists like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer, also boasted about having a Nazi tattoo, calling it my Totenkopf. One ex recalled, contradicting his October claim that he thought it was merely a terrifying skull of crossbones. Terrifying skull and crossbones. I had no idea. I had no idea that this symbol was associated with the SS. I didn't know that it was the symbol for the murderous group that carried out the bulk of the violence in the Holocaust. I'm just as shocked as you are to find that out. I really am. I thought it was just a, terrifying skull and crossbones. So this ex says that he talked about it all the time, and he talked about it being a Nazi symbol and everything. Now, he has an argument here. He has against this woman because she is a Republican, and I think she works in politics. She's saying that she would come out and say this stuff because he had instances where she said he twisted her arm and shoved her into a bedroom and locked the door, wouldn't let her out until she calmed down, and, things like this. She's a campaign worker from Virginia, according to the story. And he says that she's just, quote, a lifelong GOP operative who's dedicated her career to electing Republicans. She said, I know it looks like a bitter ex-girlfriend Republican trying to take down a Democrat. It has nothing to do with that. If he were running as a Republican, I would be doing the same thing. So here's the thing. This is what is interesting to me. It's been established already. There is not a single person that knows anything about Graham Platner that doesn't know he's a piece of crap. He is a cockroach. Okay? Everybody knows that. I don't know if his parents are still alive, but his mama knows that if she's still alive. If she's not still alive, she died knowing that her son is a piece of crap. Everybody knows it. Now, the interesting thing is watching the Democrats make excuses for him. Watching these Democrats make excuses for this lowlife is just so delicious to me. Absolutely spectacular. Because what happens is if we really do what we're supposed to do as conservatives, i.e. as the smart people in the country and the decent people and the civilized people of this country, we need to make sure we are right here on the spot to throw it back in their faces. People like Sunny Hostin of The View. She has no credibility left when it comes to calling anybody a racist or a Nazi ever again. She admitted, and we had it the other night on the show, she admitted he's a liar, he's a Nazi, he's a racist, he's all these things, but I have to support him because I'm going to hold my nose and support him because we have to take control of the Senate. Can you ever imagine a Republican saying that? Can you imagine a conservative saying, look, I know this guy is a racist and a Nazi and a da-da-da-da-da, but we've got to take control of the Senate, so I've got to support him. No. Well, first of all, because a conservative never would say that. Because we're not demented like these leftists are. So it doesn't seem that like Graham Platner is worried about what this ex is saying, because he refers to all of his ex relationships as hatchet wounds. She's just a former hatchet wound. She's a hatchet wound left behind on me. I'm Graham Platner, damn it. Nobody's going to derail this campaign. I'm the manliest of men. These broads can't tame me. They can't tame me, and that's why Sunny Hostin is supporting me, because she's in love with me. She loves my animal magnetism. She knows I be laying it down. All right. Well, we're off to a rousing start. Okay. Got more coming up next. Hang on.
It's TJ, the Green-Eyed Patriot, on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT. Night has fallen, and the Green-Eyed Patriot is on the air. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 FM WBT.
Rocking at the speed of light. Unapologetic, in-your-face conservatism. Delivered by the most famous and legendary active radio personality in Charlotte, and the handsomest. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit thrown right now because, I always tell you what's going on behind the scenes here. If something's going on with me, I'll tell you. All right, I'm getting woozy. I'm getting woozy. During the breaks, I start scrolling the news and I start scrolling the social media and going, what's breaking? What's breaking? What's going on? What's happening? And I was just scrolling through social media and I ran across this reel. It was one of the reels. And it was a clip from this show that's called, it's one of those TLC shows, I think. And it deals with people in the ER, when they come in the ER, in the ER. And the doctor was going in to see this guy who looked like he was homeless. Or he was homeless, and he had a problem with his leg, and the doctor walked in, and the guy, his whole bottom part of his leg all the way over his foot was covered in maggots. Ugh. So now I'm thrown. I'm trying to do a show here, and I can't get that image out of my mind. It was disgusting. Why is it that we're so, as a peoples, we are so grossed out by maggots, but flies are no big deal, really? I've always wondered that, but it is true. I mean, if you looked up and there was a maggot on your arm, you would lose it. You'd be like, ah! But if there's a fly on your arm, you're just like, where's that fly coming from? You'd be like, shoo fly, don't bother me. Isn't that weird? You would think that a maggot would be cute because it's a baby fly. Ugh. Ugh. You know, I'm queasy anyway. I don't like disgusting things. That kind of stuff just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oof. Can't take it. All right, I'm sorry. I apologize for the unprofessionalism, but that had overtaken me. Ladies and gentlemen, it had overtaken me. Okay. Not to mention, I think maybe my air conditioner is not working right upstairs here where I am. That's going to be a problem because as a true Southerner, if the air conditioner is not working, then that makes a place uninhabitable. Right? We were talking about earlier that Graham Platner and how the Democrats are all twisting themselves in knots trying to make excuses for him and everything because he's a Nazi and he's a racist and he's a anti-Semite and he's a pervert and he's all these things. John sent a text message, the number 704-570-1079. He said, I'm sure you remember this since it was your home state of Louisiana. But back in the late 80s when David Duke, the Klansman, was running, President George H.W. Bush came out against him, even though he was running as a Republican. Absolutely. Of course. But I don't think that David Duke started out as a Republican. I think he switched to being a Republican. He wasn't really one of us. Did David Duke start as a Democrat? Let's see. Okay, hang on. I'm not a great typer, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I'm not a good parker either. Yep, David Duke began his political career by running for the Louisiana State Senate as a Democrat in the 1970s and as a Democrat in 1988 presidential primaries. He officially switched his party affiliation to the Republican Party in December of 1988, went on to win a seat in the Louisiana House of Representatives as a Republican in 1989. Throughout his political history, he has officially aligned himself with the Populist Party. Okay. So, no conservatives were standing up and saying, well, you know, we got to hold our noses and support David Duke. It's a great point, John. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's not who we are as a party. That's who the Democrats are as a party. And just another reason why we need to be reminding them every day. We need to be reminding, and I'm not talking about reminding the powers that be in the Democrat Party. This is where we go to the ones who vote Democrat, just your average citizens who are Democrats. We need to keep reminding them, you know, your party stands for da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you're a bunch of racists. That's what we need to keep reminding them of. Because the media is not going to do it. Well, I don't know, though. The New York Times is the ones that they did that story that I just read you earlier. They were the first to do the story with the ex-girlfriend of Graham Platner. You know, I actually thought at one time in my life, I thought maybe I would try using some shampoo and shampoo my hair, but then I thought better of it. Still, never done it. Never done it. I mean, he's really a gross guy. He's dirty. He's, just a old creature. Just a creature. But somebody from my home state is in a little bit of trouble with the public. And he's an entertainer, a beloved entertainer from my home state of Louisiana. But wait until you find out what it is that the media and other groups of people are upset with him about. Something that he said that was quote unquote controversial. So we'll get into that coming up next. Hang on.
TJ, the realist Ritchie, on 107.9 WPT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. Hear him on the radio and podcast. Watch him on YouTube. Like and subscribe to all social media platforms at tjritchie.com and WBT.com. Now, back to TJ Ritchie on 107.9 FM WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk.
Ooh. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. I am America's coolest conservative, the green-eyed patriot. Programming note for you. If you're one of the 3 people that has checked out my my extra segment that I do every night on my social medias, I won't be doing that tonight because it's my son's birthday. I got to get on down there and celebrate with the fam. So I won't be doing a what's it called? Ritchie Roundup. I won't be doing a Ritchie Roundup tonight, so we don't have to fool with that. I need to check my little machine here to see if it's working. So please, this is not going to mean anything to anybody. I'm just seeing if it works. Get up on it. Okay, yeah, it's working. That's the way it has to be, because that's the way I like it. All right. So there is a famous rapper from Baton Rouge. I always love when people say things like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or New Orleans, Louisiana. Like you have to say the state, like you don't know that's Louisiana. Now, I know there are a lot of, towns with the same names, like Denver. If you said Denver around here, you probably need to say Denver, North Carolina, or Denver, Colorado. But, I mean, there's only one Baton Rouge. There's only one New Orleans. So you don't really have to. But I digress. His name's Boosie. And he is loved by all ages of people. And he has said something that was controversial. He posted something. And I agree with him 100%. He's getting some backlash for it. The new Madden video game has come out, or is coming out. I'm not sure. I don't play video games, so I just know that they've got a new cover, and it's always a big deal who makes the cover of Madden. And Caleb Williams, who is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, has made the cover. And Caleb Williams is on the cover of Madden with his fingernails painted, because that's what he does. He wears painted fingernails. He's also the one that when he was playing for USC and they lost a big game at the end of the season, he spent a good, 15 minutes hysterically crying into his mother's bosom in the stands. He went and found his mama up in the stands and cried into her bosom. So he's got his fingernails painted on the cover of Madden, the video game. And Boosie said, this is not good. He criticized Madden for putting him on the cover with painted fingernails, and now he's having to deal with the backlash, and this is something that he posted today. Listen.
They got a lot of people mad at me right now in the DM. They going off in my DM. Boosie, you gonna be part of the community with us? Nah, bro. I just feel like, they mad because the truth hurts, I come up under Tecmo Bowl. I never thought in a million years that I would see a Madden cover with one of the best players with his fingernails painted. A game that sold to billions of little boys. What kind of message are they sending to these little boys? I never thought in a million years I would see this. As parents, how much do they have to do for us to say, that's not right? Us daddies gotta go tell these boys that we got raising them to be men, that's wrong, son, that's for women. And not just daddies, these mothers, single mothers who raising boys to be men. You have to tell your son, that's not right. Or in a couple months, he going to play in your fingernail polish. You know what I'm saying? Next is going to be lipstick on the covers, thongs. Is that enough? Man hiking a ball with a thong in it. Is that enough for you to tell your child that it's wrong? That is wrong. See, that's what it's going to next. Lipstick. Thongs. I never thought I would see this,
Okay, so you get the idea. And he's right. But it is an assault on masculinity. We've been dealing with this for a while. Now, people get upset and go, well, he's great. And he is. He's a great quarterback. He's very talented, super, super talented athlete. But that doesn't change the fact that fingernail polish is feminine. Now, he gets a pass for a couple of reasons, several reasons, actually. One, he gets a pass because he's an athlete and he's a good athlete. And two, he gets a pass because he attributes it as a tribute to his mother. Okay? Because his mother is or was I think she was a nail tech. She did nails for a living, and so he would go to work with her. And then this is kind of his tribute to her. When he's playing on field, he has his nails painted, and that's to show his solidarity with his mother. But it's wrong. It's wrong. Because it's part of this attack from the left on traditional American values and an attack on the nuclear family, once again, because you confuse gender roles and you say, oh, you can do whatever you want. You can wear nail polish. You don't want, it's better to be doing feminine things as a boy and as a man. It's better to be feminine. You don't want to be a toxic masculine man. You don't want toxic masculinity. All of the people on the left are constantly pushing that. Now, Boosie had the guts to say something about it. And as the kids say, he's standing on business. 10 toes down when you're standing on business. That means standing on business. What is that song, Lonnie? The one that I always make fun of. That's the only part of it I know. 10 toes down when you're standing on business.
Not a clue.
And look, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not much. I'm not a big fan of today's rap.
I don't know what it is either.
But he's absolutely right. Madden now with the NFL, they've been trying to feminize the NFL for years. They haven't been trying. They've done all kinds of things, ripping apart the gladiator mentality of the NFL. And all other sports, for that matter. That's why they force them to do gay nights. Hello? That's why they forced them to, for a while they were forcing sports teams to wear rainbows on their jerseys for special, Pride Night, Pride Month. Like I was saying last night, it's not because of all of the, millions and millions of gay and trans fans that professional sports has. No. It is part of the left's blueprint to rip apart America and turn it communist. It's basically a race now between turning America communist or turning America Islamist. That's what's going on. It's just his fingernails being painted. Calm down. Yeah. No. It's all part of the effort. It's all part of the plan. All part of the plan. So good for Boozy. His full name, in case you don't know, his given name on his birth certificate is Boozy Badass. That's his given name. Actually, it's Torrance. Did you know that, Lonnie? His name's Torrance Ivy Hatch Jr.
Yep.
You did? Mm-hmm. Oh, you know everything. You know everything. Look at you. You know everything.
Just a little bit, not too much.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got to take a break. More coming up.
The TJ Ritchie Show is on. More next on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT. Text everybody in your contacts list and tell them that Richie's on. Welcome back to the TJ Ritchie Show on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 FM WPT.
Unapologetic, in-your-face conservatism. On the air, everywhere. I am America's coolest conservative and the green-eyed patriot. Loving it. Oh, man. Some more entertaining stuff came from some House hearings. I never know when I'm scrolling through the news. I never know when, let's say, for example, Secretary of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mullen is on Capitol Hill and he's being questioned by some committee in the House, and they have clips of it posted, and then you go the next day and they have different clips posted. I sometimes wonder, is that part of the same thing? Is it another day of it, or is this from the past where they've just gone and said, "Oh well, as long as we're talking about his testify"? But I think this was going on yesterday, and Mark Wayne Mullen was being questioned by Shri Tandadar, who is the Indian representative from Michigan, who's a psycho, and this is how that went. It's, be prepared. If you're eating, this is going to make you sick. So don't say I didn't warn you.
Secretary Mullen, I'm very concerned that your department is promoting white nationalist, anti-immigrant sentiments on official social media accounts. One post quotes a song embraced by neo-Nazis, and state law enforcement agencies have raised concerns that your post will motivate white supremacist violence. When will you stop DHS from using its social media accounts to spread bigoted and racist words and imagery promoting great replacement theory.
It's interesting how you make those claims and give no facts, but yet your party's the one that's supporting the guy that's got a Nazi tattoo.
I have the facts. I have the facts, sir.
No, there is no facts. You throw out nationalism, Nazism, and that's exactly what causes the hatred and the violence that happens to our officers every single day. And you should be ashamed of using that.
Well, look, no, it's not my words.
It is your words.
Look here.
It is your words.
Here is Colorado
Did you
Fusion
endorse the
Center.
Candidate in Maine?
Here is Colorado.
Did you endorse the candidate in Maine? That's a Nazi.
Let me reclaim my time,
Hey,
sir.
he's talking about me, Graham Platner. Hey, you keep my name out of your mouth, Mark Wayne. I still say every time one of the good guys, somebody on our side, is being questioned by this guy, this Sri Tanadar, let him say what he's saying, let him get all of his question out, and then say, I'm sorry, Congressman, could you repeat that? I couldn't understand a word you were saying. Make him repeat it. And say, I am, please forgive me. I cannot understand your thick foreign accent, and I apologize. I'm sure it's a shortcoming on my part, but could you repeat the question? And then interrupt him. Can somebody translate this for me? Could we get an Indian translator, somebody that could put what he's saying into English that everybody could understand? We'd like to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. That's what I would just keep making him repeat and then ask for a just absolutely point him out for being a ridiculous clown, and the fact that if you can't speak any English better than that, then you don't need to. Actually, just knowing you were born in a foreign country should make it to where you can't be in elected office here. Now we got this clown in New Jersey that worked for the blind sheik, who will be a U.S. representative from New Jersey, and he'll have access to U.S. secrets and classified information and all that. So, yeah, we've got to get that done. If you weren't born in the United States, or if you were raised in another country, there's got to be some kind of a rule against it. I'm telling you. This guy should not be an elected official in the United States of America. But my way of handling questions from him in these committees, I think, would be awesome. I'm sorry. I would love to answer, Congressman, but I would love to give you the answer that you're looking for. I just don't know what it is you're saying. Can somebody help me, please? Could you... Imagery? Is that what you said? Did you say imagery? What is that? Are you trying to say imagery? You're saying imagine something? Is that what? Gosh, I apologize. I am so sorry. But I just can't get... All right. Hang on. More coming up next.